Picture this. You're sitting at your desk, staring at a spreadsheet, and you realize that at your current savings rate, it will take you exactly 47 years to hit $1 million. You feel like you're doing everything right. You're working hard, you're saving your leftovers, but the math just isn't mathing. It feels like the goalpost is moving faster than you can run. But here's the immediate twist. Hitting that $1 million mark isn't actually about how hard you work or even how much you save. In fact, for the wealthiest people on the planet, saving money is a losing game. If you're trying to save your way to $1 million, you're trying to fill a swimming pool with a teaspoon while the sun is evaporating the water. Think about your own life for a second. You get your paycheck, you pay your rent, you buy your groceries, and you tuck away whatever is left into a standard savings account. You feel a sense of pride seeing that number grow by a few $100s each month. But then, you see the price of a house jump by $50,000 in a single year, and suddenly your progress feels like a joke. Look, here's the thing. We've been sold a version of millionaire math that is fundamentally broken. We're told to work 40 hours a week for 40 years, and if we're lucky, compound interest will pat us on the head at age 65. But what if I told you there's a hidden math, a secondary system that allows ordinary people to compress that 40-year timeline into less than 10? Most people think becoming a millionaire is a linear climb, like walking up a very long flight of stairs. They think if they just step faster, they'll get there sooner. But the real math behind wealth isn't linear, it's exponential. This is where it gets interesting. The difference between a step-stepper and an exponentialist isn't their salary. It's a mathematical lever called the velocity of capital. We'll open the loop on that mechanism in a moment. What's actually happening is that the gap between the working class and the wealthy class isn't a gap of effort, it's a gap of math. While you're calculating how much you can afford to lose to inflation, the wealthy are calculating how much they can capture from the system. Here's the first loop. There is a single number in your life, more important than your credit score or your salary, that determines exactly when you will become a millionaire. Most people don't even know this number exists. Let's dive into the core reveal. The secret isn't saving, it's arbitrage. In simple terms, wealth is created when the return on your capital exceeds the cost of your life. But most people have this backward. They use their time to get money, then use that money to buy things that take away more of their time. The hidden system works by using money to buy systems that generate more money without your presence. Think about the math for a second. Let's use real numbers. Imagine person A saves $1,000 a month at 1% interest. After 30 years, they have about $410,000. Sounds okay, right? But now look at person B. They don't save, they deploy. They take that same $1,000 and invest it at 10%, the historical average of the stock market. After 30 years, person B doesn't have $400,000, they have $2.2 million. But wait, it gets worse, or better depending on how you look at it. If person B understands the hidden math of taxes and inflation, they realize that $2.2 million in 30 years might only buy what $800,000 buys today. This is the inflationary trap that keeps the middle class running on a treadmill. But here's where it gets dangerous. If you don't understand how to outpace the devaluation of the currency, you are statistically guaranteed to stay broke, no matter how much you earn. The psychology of this trap is fascinating. Our brains are wired for linear thinking. If we see 2 berries today, we expect 4 berries tomorrow. We can't instinctively grasp the power of geometric growth. Because we can't feel the growth in the early years, we quit. We look at our account after 3 years, see it's only grown a little, and decide to spend it on a new car. Think of it like this. Imagine a giant snowball at the top of a mountain. For the first 100 feet, you're sweating, pushing, and it barely seems to be getting bigger. That's the first 7 years of your journey. Most people quit here. But once that snowball hits the inflection point, gravity takes over. The math starts doing the work for you. By the time it hits the bottom of the mountain, it's an avalanche. The stakes are simple. Every day you delay understanding this math, you aren't just losing money, you're losing opportunity cost. If you wait 10 years to start, you don't just lose 10 years of savings, you lose the most explosive part of the curve. In the snowball analogy, you're missing the bottom of the mountain, where the most snow is gathered. This is the system that benefits from your delay. Look at the macro perspective. The global economy is designed to reward asset owners and punish currency holders. Central banks print money that devalues the dollar in your pocket, but it makes the price of assets like stocks and real estate go up. If you only have cash, you're losing. If you own the assets, you're winning. The math of the millionaire is simply the math of positioning. You must position yourself on the side of the equation that benefits from the printing press. The climax insight? Becoming a millionaire isn't a money goal, it's a math problem that has already been solved. You don't need to invent a new way to get rich, you just need to plug your life into the existing formula. The strongest realization you can have is this: your income is the least efficient way to build wealth. Your equity is the only thing that actually scales. So what do smart and informed people do differently? They stop saving and start allocating. They realize that every dollar is a freedom token. It can be hired to work for them. They adopt the rule of 72, a simple trick to see how fast their money will double. They don't ask, how much does this cost? They ask, how much capital is this diverting from my future self? Actionable steps? First, find your freedom number, the amount of assets you need so the 4% rule covers your entire lifestyle. Second, audit your math. Set up your accounts so the deployment happens before you ever see the money. If you have to choose to invest every month, you will eventually fail. Third, audit your levers. Look for high-interest debt that is mathematically cannibalizing your growth. Kill it with extreme prejudice. This changes how you see the world. When you see a luxury car, you don't see a success symbol. You see a depreciating liability that just cost someone 7 years of their freedom. When you see a quiet person in a 10-year-old Toyota who owns 3 rentals, you see a mathematical victor. Wealth is silent. Broke is loud. The final reframe is this: hitting $1 million won't make you happy, but the math required to get there will make you free. Money is just a tool to buy back your time. When you finally solve the math problem, the stress vanishes. Not because you have the money, but because you understand the system. You stop reacting to the world and start directing it. But here's the unsettling thought. The system is counting on you ignoring this math. It needs you to keep trading your time for a currency that loses value every single day. The moment you understand the hidden math, you become a glitch in the matrix. You become someone the system can no longer control. If you want to understand how money really works and finally solve the math problem of your life, subscribe.